Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Wlbt Plus. My name is Cara Shirley, and I am your digital news desk host, here to give you some update on some crimes that have happened over the past 24 to 48 hours here in Jackson. We have a double homicide that we have some new details on. We're also going to be talking about some different things like tax-free weekend is happening this weekend to help parents get ready to go back to school with their kids. And then we are also going to be speaking with a friend of mine. I'm proud to say he's a friend of mine. He is Your Barefoot Neighbor. You may know him on Facebook or on TikTok. Has almost 1.5 million followers on each platform, but we're going to be talking to him in just a little bit about things that are happening in his neck of the woods, which happens to be on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Very happy to get to hear from him. Before we jump into the news, I want to thank you all for tuning in here on our website, wlbt.com. Also tuning in through our news app and on our social media pages. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you have any questions or anything like that, any comments, anything to add, feel free to put your comments in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you guys. Love to know where you're watching from. We have people watching from all over, and just love to get some information from y'all. You know, sometimes when you ask questions about certain stories or you give input, it helps us know which way to go in our internal investigations here into stories. And it helps us know what questions we need to ask as well. So we really appreciate when you guys join in. Kathy Ford here is tuning in, says good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kathy. It is a very beautiful Friday. This week has flown by, but it is absolutely gorgeous outside. Let's take a look out at Ridgeland or over Ridgeland as before we go into the news. The beautiful, beautiful skies, lots of sun, a little bit of clouds, but not the type of clouds that are going to bring us any rain today. And a lot of people out there on the interstate moving around. Make sure if you're outside today that you are taking care to stay hydrated and try to get out of the heat if you possibly can. So, the first bit of news that we're going to get into today is telling you about a stabbing that happened over in Vicksburg. Police are investigating a deadly stabbing. It happened around 4 o'clock this morning. Officers were called to a home on Clark Street. And may bring up here so you can see Clark Street. So, here is the Mississippi River. Clark Street is right here. We have casinos right here. Let me pull out a little bit so you guys can maybe get a better picture of where this is over in Vicksburg. Just right just right by the Mississippi River. Well, officers were called to the home on Clark Street where they did find a female victim dead inside the home. A man was taken in for questioning. At this time, that is all the details that we have, but we are working to get more. We just know that there was a stabbing and a female lost her life in that. But as soon as we get more information, we would definitely let you guys know about that. Also, here in Jackson, police are investigating after a body was found in North Jackson. They were called yesterday to an area near the intersection of Garvin Street and Christian Drive. And pull that up for you here. Get a little closer so you can see. Right here is the intersection of Christian Drive and Garvin Street. I'm sorry, Chaston Drive and Garvin Street. Let me zoom out so that you can get a little bit of better idea of where this is according to downtown Jackson or in relation to downtown Jackson. So downtown is right here at the bottom of your screen. You can see me kind of doing circling it here with my mouse. This up here is where the body was found. So investigators are still working to determine how this person passed away, and their name has not been released. The Jackson Police Department is asking if you have any information regarding the body that was found yesterday. Please contact Jackson Police Department. Sandra Cagle here joining us. Good afternoon to you as well, Sandra. Appreciate you guys tuning in here on Facebook, YouTube, and of course our website. Now, we do have some new information on a deadly double shooting that happened last night at a Jackson apartment complex. We now have the names of the victims that were found dead there. So the Jackson police say that this happened around 5 o'clock last evening. 75-year-old Shirley Williams and her husband, 50-year-old Frederick Williams, were shot to death at the Addison Place Apartments on Robinson Road. Shirley was found deceased in her bed, and Frederick was found deceased in the hallway. And they were both pronounced dead at the scene. So today, JPD Chief Joseph Wade said that they have developed a person of interest in this case. However, the names are not yet being released of those persons of interest. They said there was no sign of forced entry into the home, and there is also at this time no word on a motive for the shooting. Of course, like with anything, if you have any information regarding this, please contact the Jackson Police Department at 601-960-1234, or you can contact Crime Stoppers at 601-355-TIPS, TIPS. Again, the victim was 75-year-old Shirley Williams, and her husband, 50-year-old Frederick Williams, were both found deceased at this hotel. I'm sorry, Addison Place Apartments. I'll get it correctly. Dorothy Williams tuning in saying, please find whoever did this ASAP. It is just sad. And it is a very sad situation for this couple to have lost their lives. And like they said, they do have a person of interest. They're not releasing that information, but if you know anything regarding this crime, please contact the police department or Crime Stopper so that they can get the person responsible for this behind bars. The Jackson Police Department, their crime solve rate is very high, especially compared to the national average. And I know in past cases, the Jackson Police Department has been able to take people into custody very quickly over a lot of the homicides that have happened here in our area. So we are very thankful for that, and we are hopeful and believe that they will quickly get the person apprehended that is responsible for this. Again, like I said, there is no sign of a forced entry in this apartment. And Chief Wade said in a press conference that he gave on Monday that a lot of times in situations like this, you find out that the person who is the suspect or the criminal who did this ends up being someone who can either has a familial relation or is a friend of the person or an acquaintance of the person. So I'm sure they are looking into every avenue, and I believe a person will be apprehended quickly for this. As soon as that happens, we will let you know. Francis Boone is asking, where is this? And Francis, this, it was on Robinson Road, and it's the Addison Place Apartments. Actually, I have it pulled up here on the computer. Let me show you guys where this is. So the red dot here in the center of the screen, let me zoom in for you, is the Addison Place Apartments. And if we zoom out to where you can see where downtown Jackson is, it's right here. So let me move this over, get a little closer for you guys so you can see it a little better. So here we have a downtown Jackson kind of in the middle of your screen. And right here to the left side of your screen is Addison Place Apartments. This is where the two people, Shirley Williams, 75-year-old Shirley Williams, and her husband, 50-year-old Frederick Williams, were found deceased. Shirley was found in her bed, and Frederick was found deceased in the hallway. Again, there was no sign of forced entry into the apartments. Jackson police do have a person of interest, but they are not releasing that person's name at this time. We will keep you updated on that. Let's see. A lot of you tuning in here on Facebook. Appreciate you guys tuning in, saying hello, letting me know where you are tuning in from. Francis is actually in Miami, Florida right now. That is a lot. That is far away. So, Francis, I appreciate you tuning in and leaving your comments there. So we have told you, been following a case past 2 or 3 days of a murder that happened here in the capital city. And we told you yesterday about a man who was, or actually he's a teenager, 19-year-old Tavius Douglas was taken into custody for a murder that happened. What we have found out in this, and let me show you Martavius here. This is him on the screen. We have found out that he has actually been charged in 3 different homicides here in Jackson. So he made his initial court appearance yesterday for the most recent homicide. He's being charged with murder and capital murder, and bond was revoked for him. Now, we learned in the most recent case, while he was out and committed the most recent, allegedly committed the most recent homicide. He was out on bond for a capital murder case from 2022. Now, police have not said that he was actually the gunman in any of the homicides, but officers say that they are relieved that he is now behind bars. We did speak with a Jackson resident who he believes that judges need to do more to help keep repeat offenders off the streets where they can commit more crimes. Again, this individual right here was wanted in connection with 3 different Jackson homicides. He was out on bond on one. Now, this bond has been rejected, but he is being charged with murder and capital murder. We'll hear now from the resident that we spoke with.
It's about what happens once these people are arrested. I believe if these judges were giving out the same kind of bonds, if they gave out bonds as these other counties, people would not see Jackson as a safe haven for crime. So I would love to see the judges, not say just throw people away, but let's make people understand that Hinds County is not the place for the BS.
So Douglas is charged with capital murder in the death of the 17-year-old Laquarius Giles at Pebble Creek Apartments. Apartment complex. This happened back in 2022. He's also an vocal DJ who was shot and killed on North State Street in this past January. And he is accused of killing Rotavius Greenfield in North Jackson last Wednesday. This does bring up the questions of if he was already in the jail or being charged with a crime such as a capital murder, as he was in the 2022 death of Laquarius Giles. Why was he given bond? Why was he allowed out? Because now there are 2 other people who have been killed, and he is allegedly connected to those 2 deaths. It does bring up that question. We don't have the answer to that, but I'm sure we are looking into finding out why he was even allowed out. But again, he was charged with capital murder in the death of the 17-year-old. And here he is on your screen. This is the man who was charged with capital murder. He killed 17-year-old Laquarius Giles, allegedly killed Laquarius Giles at the Pebble Creek apartment complex in 2022. Then police say he was involved in the death, not saying that he caused the death, but he was involved in the death of Anthony Davis, a local DJ who was shot and killed on North State Street this past January. And he is accused of killing Rotavius Greenfield in North Jackson last Wednesday. So we're going to continue to follow his case and follow his murder charges in all 3 of these, in connection to all 3 of these deaths. One thing that we have been following, a very disturbing situation that happened here in Jackson, was when the man, Daniel Callahan, who was accused of killing a mother over in Louisiana and then her 4-year-old daughter here in Mississippi. We've been following this, and we can tell you that he has now been indicted here in Hinds County. So Daniel Callahan is charged with capital murder, kidnapping, sexual battery, and receiving stolen property. So investigators say that he killed Callie Burnett in Louisiana last month, then kidnapped her two daughters. The police here later found the body of one of the girls, Erin Burnett, in a wooded area in South Jackson. Now, Callahan's accomplice, Victoria Cox, has also been indicted here in Hinds County. She's being charged with capital murder, kidnapping, and sexual battery. So these two have been indicted not only in Louisiana, but also now indicted here in Mississippi for their crimes. So that is very good information to find out here. Mitzi Stubbs and info on tax-free weekend, please. We're going to get to that in just a little bit, Mitzi, I promise you. And Joy Adams, let's see. Joy is saying he is absolutely right. The bonds are a lot lower in Hinds County than the surrounding areas. And she's talking about the resident that we just heard from, referring to this individual who was Martavius Douglas, who was taken into custody and is allegedly connected to 3 murders that have happened here in the Jackson area since 2022. So yeah, we are definitely looking into that. And Michael Applewhite gave an opinion, said the judges are responsible for these other 2 murders. I'm sure some people can definitely look at it that way. Latangela McKenzie says that, or Latangela Myers McKenzie says the Justice Department failed the victims and their families. I do appreciate you guys leaving your comments and your opinions and thoughts on the stories that we bring. It helps us bring up a lot of questions, lets us know what questions we need to ask. Michael Applewhite says, again, they're going to let Daniel bond out like Martavius. Well, actually, Daniel now is in custody over in Louisiana. He and Victoria Cox have been extradited to Louisiana. I believe they're going to be facing their charges first over in Louisiana, and then they will be taken to court here in Mississippi. But they are currently in the custody of the Louisiana law enforcement. So let's move on real quick. Let me get to my right place on my my list here. We have also been following a story this week about a apartment complex. I believe it's the Gardenside apartment complex who had their water shut off because the company out of New York that owned the apartment complex had not paid their bills since earlier this year. They were in arrears of $148,000. Well, we talked to an owner of another apartment complex over in South Jackson, and this owner of the apartment complex is saying that that he's been getting incorrect water bills. So Tony Little is his name, and he's owned the Blossom Apartments on Woodbine Street since 2018. He says that complex is on a list of properties that Jackson Water says are behind on their water bill payments. So the utility company says that Little has an outstanding balance of $436,000. Well, he told us that those numbers are way off. In addition to that, he says that he's losing thousands of dollars a month because of a recent mudslide forced him to take 12 of his units off of the market.
I have a history of paying all of my bills, okay? But this number is not right, okay? Now, if you want to put me out of business and put the affordable housing out of business, guess what? You got other complexes that are in the same similar situation, okay? So you can make a point to do this, but what are you really going to do? Because I can pay this, I can figure out this, but this is not right.
So Little says that his priority right now is talking with Jackson Water to see how he can get his bills corrected. But he's saying he's been charged a lot more than he is supposed to be charged. The numbers are higher than he believes that they should be. And we'll continue to follow this and keep you guys updated on it. Before we talk about the tax-free weekend that is happening, we're going to take a look real quick at our weather, what we're looking at right now, what we're looking at over the weekend, which is really a lot of the same as it has been this week. Hot. Well, actually, this week it hasn't been too humid, but it is going to ramp back up with that humidity. Let's look outside real quick for first, for our current temperatures, we're sitting in the mid to low 90s, upper 80s, 89 down in Macomb. They're the coolest place on the map right now. But mostly we're sitting around the mid 90s here in our current area. Lots of 92s, 94s on the map there. For the next 12 hours, we are looking at a very small percentage chance of rain around 5 o'clock, which is just your normal summertime afternoon showers that we have probably grown to expect here in the South. Past that, though, we're looking at clear skies and no rain chances as we go through the next 12 hours. Now, our radar right now is looking very clear, except for a little bitty spot down in Jefferson County, right there on the Jefferson County, Lawrence County line, but not a lot out there. Like again, I said earlier, that's probably just one of those little pop-up showers that happen here in the summertime. And as we look at our 7-day forecast, see we have a higher percentage chance of rain on Sunday this weekend, but it's not that high. It's just a 30% chance of rain. As we move later through next week, we do kind of go up on those chances, ending Thursday out with a 40% chance of rain currently. Temperatures, though, are going to be about the same the next 7 days, in the mid 90s and humid. So make sure that if you are spending any of that time outside or any of your time outside over the weekend or the next few days, stay hydrated, take plenty of water, take breaks from outside if you can, try to get in a shaded area, spend some time in an air-conditioned place if you're able to, and for the most part, just stay safe outside. But we're looking at a great weekend to go shopping for school supplies. Again, we've told Mississippi sales tax weekend does begin today. This year, what's a little different is it's running for 3 days. Normally, it only runs on Friday and Saturday. Well, this year it is running today, Saturday, and going through Sunday. So what you can buy, if you need any refreshers on this, is you can buy clothing and school supplies without having to pay sales tax, provided that each item is priced less than $100. So if their item is over $100, you will have to pay sales tax on that. Also, a lot of stores are having sales this weekend to go in conjunction with the sales tax weekend to help sweeten the deals and encourage more people to get out there and shop. If you have any stores that you are looking forward to go and shop at, let us know about them. Mention them here in the comments. Love to know any sales that you're looking forward to taking advantage of. As I said, this is my daughter's, my two daughters who live here with me. Their first time ever not having to wear school uniforms. The last school district we lived in for their entire life, they had to wear school uniforms. And so they get to wear real clothes this year. And they are very excited about getting to go clothes shopping for school. But let us know where some of the big deals that you're excited about taking a part in are. Also, don't forget that you can donate today, donate supplies to our Operation Backpack. Let me pull this up for you so you can see. We are doing this in connection with Raising Cane's. We're partnering with them, and it is our Operation Backpack. We're collecting items all the way through the end of July, but this is to help students here in the Jackson area who are in need of school supplies. They're maybe not able to get them, the parents aren't able to, and this is just kind of gives them a leg up, so to speak, help them to have a successful school year, start off the school year on the right foot. You would be surprised at how many kids go to school without having the proper supplies that they need. So you can drop off at Little Ambassadors, Jackson Revival Center Church, and We Will Go Ministries. You can find all of those addresses to those locations on our website, wlbt.com. And there is also a shopping list to help you out. If you're not sure what you can buy or what you can donate, we have that list there for you as well. So help us out with Operation Backpack to help give the kids in our area a good first few weeks to their school year, and hopefully set them up for success for the rest of the school year. Sales for men's size uniforms, Courtney White. I don't know if I would know where any of those are. Maybe somebody can leave that in the comments if they can know where to find something like that. So, the Capitol Police Department here in the capital city is conducting their first Citizens Police Academy. If you're not sure what that is, well, we're going to tell you. So, instructors set up a mock crime scene. They set that up last night to demonstrate what officers can face when they're dealing with violence. So, we spoke with Chief Bo Lucky and Assistant Chief Derek Jordan about the importance of the course like this.
Community outreach and engagement is one of the most important things we can do in law enforcement. And what this does today, specifically today, just kind of gives the public an idea of what our crime scene analysts and forensic officers go through when they show up on the scene, and kind of gives them an idea of how law enforcement functions during these stressful times when they're looking at a high stress situation, a homicide, an aggravated assault, or something that requires this type of processing.
So the Citizens Police Academy does wrap up today at the Trade Mart. I think this is a great thing to have, to let people see what the actual process is for crime scene analysts in our area. So Courtney White asked a few minutes ago, sales for men's size uniforms. Well, somebody answered her. Lakita Washington told her to check out Academy Sports. Appreciate you answering that question, giving her that information, Lakita. That's one thing I love about being able to have this interactive newscast with you. You're able to ask questions, and maybe we can help facilitate answers for you like this. So thanks, Courtney and Lakita, for commenting there and leaving your questions. So we're going to jump into something right now. This is something I told you about yesterday. It is he's a friend of mine. His name is Matthew Bounds. He is a TikTok famous, I guess you could say. That's what people call the stars that come to be on a TikTok. He has 1.4 million followers on TikTok, 1.2 million followers here on Facebook. He's from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and he has authored several cookbooks. But the good thing about Matthew, and he's Your Barefoot Neighbor on the social media platforms. The good thing about him is he doesn't use his platform that he has been given to just benefit himself. He works to help the community around him, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about that. We're going to jump right into that interview right now. Hey, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in here to WLBT Plus. My name is Cara Shirley, your digital news desk host. I promised yesterday that I was going to have a very special guest on with me today, and I do. His name is Matthew Bounds, but you guys probably know him as Your Barefoot Neighbor. I'm sure some of you may be part of his barefoot neighborhood, as he calls his fans and his followers. Matthew here has 1.4 million followers on TikTok, 1.2 on Facebook, and I'm sure that you are on several other social media pages as well. Is that right, Matthew?
Oh yeah, Instagram. We've got almost 500,000 on Instagram.
Wow. So you have definitely made your mark in the social media sphere. That is for sure. Now, you got started on TikTok kind of during the pandemic. I remember last time we talked, you were doing kind of like DIY home projects, and then you kind of went into cook talk, as we call it, and your world just kind of exploded from there. Tell us just a little bit about your time on social media and some of the things that you have done over the past couple of years.
Yeah, like you said, I started out doing DIY projects for the camera and yard work and things like that. And that's how the name Your Barefoot Neighbor came about, because, you know, I was walking around barefoot, working on stuff around my house. And eventually I got over into the cooking side of things, and I posted what I was making for dinner one night, and people liked it. So I did it again, and they liked it, and the rest is history. But now everyone thinks that my name is a play on the Barefoot Contessa, and it's not.
No.
So it came about way before my cooking days. So yeah, a year ago I wrote "Come Fix You a Plate," and this summer we put out the new book, and it's been quite a ride.
You put that new book out. It's been out for a week now, less than a week.
4 days.
4 days, yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, but is it already sold out?
It keeps, it comes and goes. It's up for like an hour this morning, and now it's sold out again, and it'll come back up, and so
that's
it's
crazy.
We made it to #1 on Amazon last night.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, I'm so proud for him. That is awesome. You. Well, tell me about your new book. The title of it is Keep It Simple, Y'all. So tell us, there it is. Yes. Tell us what people can expect to find in the new cookbook.
Yeah, it's just like the title says, we're keeping it simple. There are 20 crockpot recipes. I don't know about y'all, but I can't stand when I find a crockpot recipe, but before I can even put it in the crock pot, there are 15 other steps I have to do on the stovetop to get it into the crock pot. So all 20 of my recipes can go straight in the crock pot, dump it in, go to work, and it's ready when you get home. There are 15 sheet pan recipes. We cook dinner all on one sheet pan at the same time. There are 13 one-pot meals. There are 7 shortcuts to make dinner with a rotisserie chicken. And I put 6 of the most viral recipes from the past year in the back of this book.
And what are a couple of those viral recipes?
Well, of course, chicken cobbler. I mean, that's what made me famous. So chicken cobbler, a lot of people really like my shortcut chicken dumplings. So those are in there. And then, of course, Salisbury steak, because I think that is right behind chicken cobbler as my most viral recipe.
I don't know that I've seen that video, but I'm gonna go check it out because I love me some Salisbury steak. That's for sure. One thing that I love about you, Matthew, is, you have this incredible platform that you have created for yourself and for all the people that follow you. And you don't use it just to be a TikTok famous person. You do it. You use it for good, for your community. People watching don't know, Matthew is from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, which is another reason I'm so proud of him, being a Mississippi girl. I love to see Mississippi people succeed and get crazy famous like you are. But you're using that fame for good. So tell us about some of the charities and the organizations and communities that you've been able to help through your followers.
Yeah, it all started with Elijah's Closet 2 years ago, 2 summers ago, actually. I had a very tiny little following, and I met Nikki from Elijah's Closet, and we started talking about what they do for the kids in the community. And she said that their biggest need was beds. They always need beds for kids that are coming into foster care. So I went to my tiny little audience and I said, hey, can we raise $200 so we can get a bed for Elijah's Closet? And they raised enough to give me 3. A couple months later, I was turning 40 years old. So I went back to that same audience. I want to put together 40 beds for 40 kids in foster care. And they did it like that within a week. My garage was stacked up with bed frames and mattresses and pillows, and it just kind of snowballed from there. We've been able to do a lot of stuff. Last year, we raised $60,000 for just all kind of various charitable causes.
Wow.
And then most recently, we bought out an Amazon wish list for backpack buddies for Pineville Elementary here in Pass Christian. And there was a big need for it because the school's not providing lunch over the summer for the kids. So the ladies who run the program wanted to really beef it up and be able to give them even more through the summer. So I went to my followers and we put a list up, and they bought it out in 15 minutes. It was gone. They bought the whole list, enough to feed the kids all summer long.
That is awesome.
Yes.
I know I saw that story. It was picked up by CNN and posted nationally. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know him. Yay for him. But I think it's awesome that you're not concerned about yourself. You're concerned about making sure that people are taken care of around you. You using your platform for good. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share this just because you have on your TikTok page. It was a post that you made a couple of days ago. And for people who are watching, if it's okay with you, Matthew, I'm going to put screenshots of it on the screen.
Sure.
But it starts off saying, if you ask me about being a content creator, I tell you how much I love it. But if you ask me on a deeper level, you say, I tell you, it's changed my life in every possible way, and it terrifies me every day. People listen when I speak. What if I say the wrong thing? People confide things to me, and I don't always know how to handle that. I'm trusted. What if I fumble that? What if I put out a bad product? Doors are open for me to assist my local community. And what if I hurt a nonprofit by being associated with them? I can't be anything but me. If it all falls apart tomorrow, did I make the most of it? Did I do all I could? But most of all, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love what I do. When I read that the other day, as a matter of fact, after I read that, I was like, I got to see if Matthew's available for the interview. And that's when I text you to see. But it almost brought tears to my eyes because it is such a true thing, being gifted this platform, really, in essence, and people listening to you and trusting you, not just with what they cook and what they put on the stove, but all of these nonprofits and everything that you have helped. You've even had the opportunity to do a TED Talk. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So my biggest fear in life is public speaking. And when they emailed me last summer and they said, hey, we're planning our TED Talk speakers for 2024. Do you want to do a TED Talk? I immediately just said yes. And I was like, you know what? I'll figure out how I'm going to public speak. And I did it. It was really probably the coolest experience so far in my life. It was really, really incredible. I was able to share the stage with some really just super inspirational people doing big things in the world.
Yeah.
And then I'm up there just talking about, my goofy little TikTok channel. But yeah, it was great. It was great. And people can find that on YouTube. It's called The Recipe for Aggressively Positive Online Communities.
And you are aggressively positive. You refuse to let people come in and bully your community, bully people around you, bully people in your barefoot neighborhood or anything like that. You are like, we're not going to stand for that. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna be positive, and we're gonna help make things better in our world.
Exactly. Yeah. Someone called me a swearing. How'd they phrase it? An aggressive swearing Mr. Rogers. And I was like, you know what? I'll take it. I like it.
We got to get you a sweater now that you can put on before you cook. Well, Matthew, tell us real quick before we jump off of here, where people can go to get your cookbooks and again, where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, sure. It's Your Barefoot Neighbor on all social media platforms. And the easiest way to get my books is to go to yourbarefootneighbor.com. They're both right there on the front page.
Awesome. Well, Matthew, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I'm really excited about it. I'm so happy to see the incredible increasing success that is coming to you because you are a person that definitely deserves it. You've got a heart of gold. And so I'm happy to see this for you. All right, guys. Well,
I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. And I don't hand out those compliments to a lot of people. Okay. So no. But that is the end of WLBT Plus. Again, Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back on Monday. You guys have a great weekend.